and it's not instant all the time. So
Nope.
like with Kobe Bryant, waking up one morning at 4 in the morning for one practice isn't what made him great. It was cumulative,
Hmm.
right? It was all those practices made him just outwork everyone. Hi, I'm Jackie DeVito, mental health therapist and coach out of Boca Raton, Florida.
Hi, I'm Tim Andrews, mental health therapist and coach out of Boca Raton, Florida. And today we're going to talk about perseverance. Perseverance being a spiritual practice.
Yes, I love that.
I do too. There's been a lot of books on perseverance, and we've done a lot of work in perseverance.
Uh-huh.
I believe the entirety of what you and I have collaboratively put together has all been about perseverance.
Yes. So for those that don't know, Tim and I just finished writing a book.
Yep, we did.
Woohoo!
We did. We did.
And that was definitely took a lot of perseverance.
And we went through a lot of fear and a lot of relationship building.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to write a book with someone else.
Well, you made it easy, I must say.
Well, it wasn't easy. You and I working together is easy.
Sure.
But do you remember the first time we sat down?
Oh, yeah.
Like logistically, I was like,
what do we do?
Who starts? What do we do? It wasn't just one of us writing, because neither one of us wanted to just take over the project and just write. We wanted to make sure that we were like collaborating. And I think once we found our groove, then it was seamless. But yeah, there are a lot of little things that we didn't think about that when it was time to go, we were like, what?
Thankfully,
yes.
That we had guidance. We knew one thing, that we needed guidance. It was a scary practice, though.
Yes,
because I know that neither one of us really knew what we were doing. We only knew what we wanted, which is oftentimes what we talk about a lot. We have to know what we want.
Yeah.
And then we can get a vision, which we talk about, and then we can plot the steps and get in the vision. And perseverance was a part of that, because it was the consistency and the follow through.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of healing in perseverance.
Yeah. Because we're going up against some old belief systems, mine. I can never do enough. It's not fair. Things are going to be taken away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a few of the three.
Yeah. My big one is I can't have what I want.
Yeah.
It's a big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I read something that said perseverance isn't about pushing through, but it's about continuously showing up for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the healing happens, where it's not pretty. It's not always pretty. You don't always feel like doing it.
No.
Those old belief systems creep in.
Right.
Fear of being seen is a big one for me too.
Yeah, for me too. Because to be seen is both sides. When I'm seen, it's not only about, it's like I always want to be seen for the good. I don't necessarily want to be seen for the redirect or whatever would perceivably be bad.
Yeah.
But moving through that, to your point, because that self-abandonment happens when I don't persevere. If I don't persevere, if I don't follow through, because perseverance and follow through are really similar in nature. If I don't do either one of those, then it's self-abandonment.
Yeah, for sure. So when you hear, or for me, I'll just speak for me, but I'm wondering if this happens to you. When you have those moments when that fear creeps in of being seen, so the negative part of being seen, like people are going to make fun of me, or they're going to talk about me, or is it a particular voice? Is it a particular person? Because I hear people say like, well, everybody's going to, or what if people? And I'm like, who are these people?
On the whole, it becomes criticism. And if I were to collectively look at what that was, I think my childhood was highly critical.
Yeah.
in many different ways. You know, for my stepfather. I mean, there was just a lot that was needed for me to do. And in that moment of time, it's not these people. I could probably shrink it down, you know, to who I see everyone being, and it would be, you know, like my stepfather. It would be that. My dad was really smart. He had a critical way of being too.
Yeah.
It's all the same for me.
Yeah, me too. And I think that's so interesting because it feels like everyone, but when I really take a moment and take a breath, it's about 3 people from my childhood, from my family that are just critical, gossipy. So when I used to work with clients in the eating disorder facility, a lot of them were younger. They were adolescents. And they would be, you know, they used a lot of like everybody and everyone is gonna, and I would say, well, who are these people? Who is everyone? Who is it? Is there like a stadium of people? And it's like these 3 people that live rent free in our brains.
Consistently.
Yeah. So I thought that was very interesting.
I know when, you know, to your point about pushing through, being a way in which to show up for ourselves, when I'm persevering, then I create a stable place to stand. And I'm not necessarily so sensitive to people's criticisms or what other people are thinking or what I think other people are thinking, which I believe is a big one. There's a lot of times I think people are thinking things too. The more that I follow through, I know we keep talking about perseverance, so we're going to throw it around a lot today. The more that continues to happen in my life, it really I stand, you know, that, you know, I know we briefly talked about responsibility in our last podcast a lot, like as the source for all. When I show up consistently, I feel better, act better, I am better.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes back to like the second point that I think we should bring up.
Okay.
Is around consistency creating safety, which then leads to transformation. Our brain is constantly taking in information, whether we realize it or not, to make sense of things.
Yep.
It's part of survival. It's that primitive part of our brain. So when we say, and I know you were a big teacher for me with this when I was doing my fitness competitions, when we say, oh, I'm going to get up at 8:00 and go to the gym, and then we don't follow through on our word, we're teaching ourselves that we can't trust ourselves. So when we persevere, which perseverance, we just looked up the definition, is doing something even when it's hard, even when it doesn't bring immediate gratification. We're teaching ourselves, our brain is getting the message that we can trust ourselves, that we have self-reliance, that, and I tell my clients this all the time, I'm like, if we can't count on ourselves to wake up to go to the gym, then what's going to happen when something really difficult comes up in our life and we have to know that we're going to be okay?
That would be accurate. And also perseverance. You and I talked about this week when we talked about like what we're eating, and not just nutritionally eating, like what we're eating out there in the world. You know, perseverance would be a good food because it's following through.
Yeah.
And it will substantiate the system from the inside out.
Yep.
And that's the stand that we can take when, to your point, if I don't show up for the gym and I keep giving my word, then who's going to be there? How would I expect? Of course, you know, the naysayer is going to be there. Of course, the people out there in the world, because that's me in that moment. Because I'm creating my own shame, and I'm creating my own, or reinforcing my own shame, whatever that.
You know how many times I've said things out loud knowing that I'm not going to follow through?
I know. It's a bad thing. It's not a good thing.
I'm waking up at 5 a.m. tomorrow to go jogging.
I'm going to stop eating sugar. No more sugar. That's it.
Yeah, I like literally like we got to be really careful with our words and what we commit to because our brain is always making it mean something. When I have clients ask me like
Mm,
what's the best way to create more self-love or self-worth? I'm like make a promise to yourself and keep it. Make a promise to
hmm.
yourself. It's like building, it's like a little
Right.
brick and building a wall of self-worth.
Yeah, I was at breathwork yesterday, and the therapist there at breathwork said, she just said, I am.
Oh
And
yeah.
anything that we put after I am, you are.
Yeah.
And I am going to get up at 5, or I am going to follow through with this, or I am going to not eat, or I am going to learn Spanish, what have you.
Yep.
Every single time we say that, it's a reinforce on some small bit. When we
Of
follow
course.
through, it
Yeah.
reinforces, but that's perseverance, to learn Spanish or to learn something new or to follow through with Pilates or to follow through with yoga. Because it's the small perseverance. I believe it's small steps, and they build upon each other. And Robin Sharma, just wrote a book about that you referred to me, and it was all about the consistency, the habit of consistency.
Yeah. It's called the magic of daily
Oh
consistency.
my God,
It's really good.
really good.
Yeah. Um, I was gonna say something about. Oh yeah, I think like the light bulb went off for me when I was like, I don't want to be that person who just talks
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't deliver
Mm-hmm.
because I I could be that person for sure.
So could I, and then I could be that person criticizing that person that talks and doesn't deliver, which really I'm just criticizing me.
Yeah.
And that's how that reflective work stands out for me when I'm in that space. And a lot of my and our greatest teachers have always emphasized habits, perseverance, following through.
I wonder what happens with perseverance because nobody has more perseverance than like a 4-year-old kid that, wants to like bake or go outside or get a cookie or like they don't stop. At least my kids.
You know what happens? Parents.
Parents happen.
There's belief systems come into play.
Oh my God. We should get a t shirt that says parents happen.
Parents happen. Parents happen. Parents happen. Because it's I don't know who said this. Maybe it was Tony Robbins. I can't remember who said it, but they're like, kids always get what they want. Can I spend the night? Can I spend the night? Can I spend the night? Then they'll go, can I spend the night? And they'll ask,
Please,
yeah,
please,
multiple
not?
times.
Yeah.
Can I go? Can I go? Can I go? Can I go?
Can I go?
That's
Why
perseverance.
Not? Okay.
And we as parents, and when we're told no and consistently, or we're told, if you think about, I was thinking about the opposite. I had an experience this week with a muffin, with muffins. But it's the same. It's the same thing, though. It's literally the same freaking thing. My coworker I went upstairs to see if it was hot upstairs.
Yeah.
Which I don't ever go upstairs.
Yeah.
And then from like 25 yards away, I see a package, and then I walk over to the package, and there's 3 muffins in this package.
Mm-hmm.
First, I take one piece of it and hide it, assuming that she'll never know. And then one day at a time, I managed to eat every single muffin that was in there. And that was because it's when we talk about this all the time. Like abundance doesn't have an alliance. Mm-hmm. Perseverance doesn't have an alliance. Mm-hmm. It's not the way it works.
Yeah.
It's where attention goes, energy flows. And that was the same thing. And at the end of the day, all the muffins were gone. And it was like I persevered in a negative way of being.
Yeah.
And what it did, though, it had me take a look at my operating system. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it did. And because it was just a negative way of perseverance.
Yeah.
And when I put positivity into perseverance and alignment and vision and follow the goals and do the practices of I'm looking to, go to the gym 5 times this week. But for what? Perseverance is also goal oriented. Mm-hmm. I know we haven't necessarily hit on that, but it's a goal oriented. It's part of goals.
Yeah, I remember when I was going to do I did a fitness competition when I was 40, my first. And for those of you that know me, I'm not very good with my gym perseverance. And I remember you said to me, there's got to be a bigger reason than you just wanting
Mm-hmm.
to look good in a bikini.
Right.
And it was around showing up for myself
Mm-hmm.
and how I show up for everybody else, but will not show up for myself.
Right.
And then that's what took me through, and I actually ended up going on stage, and I've done 3 shows so far. But yeah, I think there has to be something bigger. You've got to have a why.
Yep.
Why? And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was kind of like how perseverance really happens when people aren't watching.
Yeah. Well, there's a saying that says,
What happens in the dark?
yeah, that's something that around that what happens in the dark or what happens in the alone time is shown in the light through perseverance and consistency.
Mm-hmm.
There's a saying that says that. Yeah.
Yeah, Robin Sharma talks about it as well. He talks about Kobe Bryant. When he thinks of perseverance, he thinks of Kobe Bryant, how he would wake up at 4 a.m. because he would get an extra practice in on the day.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you like look at it at the end of the year, he's like, people can't catch up to him because there's just no way.
No.
And I think in a world, and I'm so guilty of this, that we are just programmed for instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
Perseverance becomes, not so important. I don't know or not on the top of the list.
Well, it loses its direction. It's like that abundance. It loses its energy. Well, it just takes on a different energy. I know that you and I talked about that this week. It was brought to my attention that I wasn't paying attention as much, and I thought, like, what was that about? But this is the distraction. Mm-hmm. And I did persevere up to this day, minus a week, and it was the reels.
And it was social media.
Yeah, social media, reels, YouTube, whatever it is that one partakes in, and it shortened my attention span.
Tim, if you think about it, when we were young and we wanted to listen to a song, you had to go out and buy the album. You had to buy the tape.
Right.
And you couldn't even just go on the song. Like,
nope.
You had to fast forward, rewind, or you had to wait for it to come on the radio.
Sure.
If you wanted to watch something on TV, you had to wait.
It's true.
Till a TV station played it.
It's true.
Or you had to buy a VCR tape, and same, like everything was just, if you wanted to rent a movie, you had to go to Blockbuster. And, where now every single little thing is instant. So it's not just social media, but it's Netflix and it's everything. Spotify and it's internet. I know I sound so old.
It's true, though. I mean, that's the point, that it's true. It's a huge distraction. I know that we're getting into this now. And it interferes.
Well, I think it has to do with perseverance, because we're talking about perseverance is something that happens kind of little by little when things are hard.
Right.
And it's not instant all the time.
Nope.
So like with Kobe Bryant, waking up one morning at 4 a.m. for one practice isn't what made him great. It was cumulative, right? It was all those practices made him just outwork everyone. So I think, perseverance in today's day and age with all this availability is more challenging.
It is, and it's never immediate. That's there's not an immediate, if you go to learn a language, it's not immediate. If you go to do a workout competition, it's not immediate. It's strengthened over time. And that's where we're supported, where, to your point earlier when you said we will show up for ourselves. It's only strengthened over time.
Yeah.
Repetition, perseverance, it's the key to mastery. Without it, we won't get mastery.
Yeah.
We'll get bits and pieces.
Oh my God, I had a client who's 22, and she said she won't go to any she won't go to any young doctors or dentists. She'll only go to old ones. Old ones, like being my age, is old for her.
Yeah, 40.
40, yeah, 35 and up, only old people. Because she's like, everybody's just using ChatGPT now. So like nobody's really gonna learn their craft. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't think about that.
It's true. It's true. Remember all that you had to do to get your license, all the studying that you had to do to get your license. I remember you would call or we would talk and you would say, this is happening. I'm reading this book. I got to do this paper. I got to show up for this class. And, this is like 5 years ago that you were doing this.
Yeah.
And started a whole new career from a thought process that you had probably 2 decades ago that you thought you wanted to do this.
Yeah.
To a point to where you had finally come to conclusion with your work that you wanted to let go of.
I gotta be honest, I am really glad that there was no ChatGPT when I went to school, because I don't know that I would have had the willpower, the perseverance to do it the right way.
Yeah,
it's too easy.
Yep. There's something to logging hours. I think that too, when you were talking about Kobe Bryant. Sometimes I'll do sometimes I've done 60, 70 hours a week between TLC, between having the opportunity to work with people, and those are logged hours. You won't. I even asked the Chat GPT one time this question. I said, I'm insecure because I feel like you could take over my job. And he goes, and I told him in the question, and he said, well, and I told him how many hours that I had in 50,000 easy. He said, no. He said nothing. He goes, I have the resources of every informational source in the entire world. And he goes, nobody will take the place of the human interaction.
I agree with that. I don't think that, I think the most important thing when people are healing is connection.
It is. And, we said healing, perseverance isn't linear. And healing isn't linear.
Mm-mm.
And it goes in, it's not just straight up.
I used to say it was like dancing, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward. So anyway, we hit on some really good points today. Number one, first and foremost, I think perseverance is a spiritual practice. Is just the most beautiful way to put it.
Yep.
I think exactly how you described it just being a continuous showing up for ourselves, a continual practice of wiring our brain to know that we can take care of ourselves, and also in creating mastery. I think that is a spiritual practice in itself.
It is.
Yeah.
And loving ourselves, that's perseverance.
Yep.
Our ability to be able to love ourselves and keep considering this particular word as good food for our systems.
Yep. So if there's 3 big takeaways that you want our listeners to take away, what would they be?
1, that healing and perseverance are in alignment. And that it's not linear. It's we leave space for it being up and down. It's follow through. That's 1. 2, consistency. Consistency is the key to mastery. Consistency is the key. The safety. Yeah, perseverance really creates a lot of safety. And the other one that you had talked about earlier, that the life we build,
life we love, yeah.
The life we love is the one we build
when no one's watching.
Through perseverance.
Yeah.
And that's how we get to stand in the world, and in the practices that I know that when I put practices in play in the morning, the meditation, the breath work, the gym, staying off the phone, it creates a different day.
Yeah.
And then one day creates a different week, and then one week creates a different month, and then one month creates a different year.
Yeah.
And then, half a decade.
Yeah, our life happens in minutes.
Yep, what do they say? The days are long and the years are short.
Days are long, years are short. Yep.
And in one way, I would just go really quickly back to our book and thinking about it, the first day that it even came up was when we had done that first couples course, and you're the driver. We should write a book. I'm like, okay, let's write a book. And it becomes like a thought process. Just a thought process. It's over a year ago. Okay, let's write a book.
Yeah.
And then let's get an author, or not an author, we're the author, but we need to get a publisher.
Editor.
And we went through about 5 different people that we had spoken to.
Yeah.
About doing, I mean, all in all,
yeah.
I mean, we went through about 5 different people that we spoke to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember when you and I were talking and you said, hey, I had some time and I put this book together. Mm-hmm. I put some of the stuff together.
Yeah, I did like a whole outline. Well, because we had the workbook for the course.
Yes. So
I used a workbook as an outline for the book. It was just amazing how it all came together.
It's amazing. And now it's completed together to the point to yesterday that we are in a space where
we're designing the cover,
designing the covers. Yep. It's amazing.
I know.
It's amazing. Sometimes it's hard to believe.
Yeah. It's surreal.
It's surreal. Sometimes it's hard to believe. And that is just one small step at a time. Yep. And we forget that it's been a year.
It's been a year.
It's not as if like 3 weeks ago we were talking about writing a book and then it's written. It's been a year.
Yep.
And that's perseverance.
Well, I couldn't have had a better partner.
I feel the same way. You're a great driver.
Thank you.
I must say.
So it'll be out soon. We will let our peeps know.
Yep.
And come back for more amazing information.
Yep. Have a great day.